Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of Ignition Time, and a happy Father's Day to our subscribers, to the fathers out there. Folks, extra unemployment benefits, the $300 a week, are going to be ending for 440,000 of our fellow Americans this weekend because 8 states, yes, you heard that right, 8 states are ending the $300 a week unemployment benefits this weekend. Pretty incredible. Let's show you this headline on your screen from Fox Business. Extra unemployment benefits are ending, believe it or not, ending for 440,000 of our fellow Americans this weekend because 8 states are actually ending these benefits. These 8 states are Alabama, Idaho, Indiana, Nebraska, New Hampshire, North Dakota, West Virginia, and Wyoming. All of them will terminate the extra unemployment benefits on the 19th of June. And according to these Republican governors, this will help the states hire back workers because people are not coming back to work because of these benefits. As a direct result, according to the Century Foundation, about 440,000 workers will lose their benefits. So this is going to be a big impact for almost 500,000 of our fellow Americans. In fact, 4 states, that's Alaska, Iowa, Mississippi, and Missouri, officially ended the assistance last week, and 14 other states are scheduled to do so later this summer. Out of all of these states, just one state, Louisiana, is led by a Democratic governor. Now, a lot of critics argue that there are other factors such as a lack of childcare, and there are other factors like personal safety. These are the reasons for reductions in hiring, and they've said that once these programs end prematurely, keep in mind, these programs were scheduled to end on the 6th of September, according to the law that was signed by the president, the American Rescue Plan. They were originally scheduled to end on the 6th of September, but states do have the legal authority to opt out early. Now, what happens is when states opt out early, this is going to hurt unemployed Americans. This is going to hurt individuals who need help the most. Individuals who've still not been able to get their jobs back, either because of personal safety reasons, because of childcare reasons, and also because in many cases their job was eliminated. Their job no longer exists. In fact, here's a quote from Andrew Stetner, who's a senior fellow at the Century Foundation. The reality is that the strength of the jobs market, not the size of unemployment benefits, will determine how fast Americans can return to where they want to be, a job. In the meantime, workers should not be forced to rely on unbelievably low unemployment pay. These cuts will ultimately affect 4 million Americans. Yes, the total impact is actually going to be 4 million Americans who are going to lose their unemployment benefits prematurely because of 25 states. Yes, you heard that right. 25 states that decided to end the unemployment benefits early. Now, most of these states are also ending the Pandemic Unemployment Assistance Program, the PUA program. Some of them are keeping the program, but most of them are ending the PUA program in addition to the $300 a week federal booster, which was a lifeline for many, many individuals. So again, these cuts will impact 4 million of our fellow Americans, and 2 million individuals will completely, entirely lose their unemployment benefits. Now, keep in mind that these benefits were extended by the American Rescue Plan, but as the economy opens, the Republican governors are saying that workers are not coming back to work. In fact, Labor Department data from April and May shows that job growth was very slow and it was below economists' expectations. Now, there is some evidence that ending unemployment benefits did lead to an uptick in job searches, but early data published by Indeed shows that this is inconsistent, shows that job search activity rose by 5% the day each state announced its plan to cut off the sweetened aid. On the other hand, there were situations where cutting off the aid actually led to a reduction in job search activity. Let's show you this headline on your screen from the Indeed Hiring Lab. Job search activity jumped temporarily in states ending federal UI benefits. But folks, this still doesn't answer the question, what about helping those who need help the most? Now, Indeed did find that this increase, like I mentioned, was temporary, and it disappeared by the 8th day after the announcement. By the second week following the announcement of the end of unemployment benefits in a particular state, job search activity returned to its April levels. Some experts are saying that there are other reasons for the reluctance from workers to return to the workforce, including a lack of childcare and continued fears about contracting COVID. Now, this is a serious problem because there are about 7.4 million fewer jobs than there were back in February 2020. This is the real problem. The real problem is not that individuals are just staying at home, being lazy, which, by the way, is the insinuation from a lot of Republican governors. The real reason is not that people are staying at home. The real reason is that there are concerns about childcare. There are concerns about health, personal safety. An individual's job essentially is gone forever. The real reason is that 7.4 million fewer jobs exist in the economy compared to February 2020, before the pandemic shut down huge sections of the American economy, including travel, leisure, entertainment, and hospitality. And that is something that needs to be looked at. That is the underlying problem. Approximately 14.8 million Americans are relying on some form of unemployment benefits at the current time, and that is their main source of income, according to the Century Foundation. In fact, data from the US Labor Department has shown that 40 million of our fellow Americans, think about that for a second, 40 million of our fellow Americans were on unemployment at one point or another in the past year, which just blows my mind when I actually think about it, because this means that a significant portion of the adult workforce, it doesn't matter which industry you are in, it doesn't matter what your income level is, a significant portion of the workforce was actually depending on unemployment benefits. A lot of things have been happening, folks. We were the first channel on YouTube to report Republican states starting to cut back on unemployment benefits. We were the first channel on YouTube to report that Republican governors are now being sued. Yes, you heard that right. Sued by their residents over the end of the $300 a week. And now we're starting to see the real impact of the end of the $300 a week. A total of 4 million of our fellow Americans will lose benefits. 2 million of them will lose benefits entirely. The other 2 million will see their benefits cut substantially because the $300 a week will be gone. But in many cases, the state aid may continue. This weekend alone, 440,000 of our fellow Americans will lose unemployment benefits in the states that are going to be ending unemployment benefits this weekend. Some of this news is hard to report, everyone, but that is what is going on. The states that are ending extra unemployment benefits on the 19th of June include Alabama, Idaho, Indiana, Nebraska, New Hampshire, North Dakota, West Virginia, and Wyoming. 4 other states, Alaska, Iowa, Mississippi, and Missouri, have already ended that assistance last week. Please click the like button. Please subscribe. Please enable notifications. My name is Dr. Nitin Chhoda with Ignition Time. This right here is a little bit of information about me. Check out my video. You'll learn more about my journey and how I was able to overcome the cycle of poverty that you see on your screen right now. I want to help you overcome the cycle of poverty, and I want to help you live your American dream, just like I have the fortune, the honor, and the privilege of living my American dream. Thank you so much for watching. Please follow me on Twitter. You'll be able to get breaking news and alerts on Twitter. It's almost like having your own news alert service. So follow me on Twitter. You'll be able to engage with me on Twitter as well. Our Twitter handle is ignition_time. That's our Twitter handle. Thank you so much for watching. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next episode of Ignition Time. Take care. Bye.